Hey everybody, it's Junwa. I wanted to make a video about how to really be a manifestation master, like total yogi, like identifying as spirit instead of form, identifying as the creator of your life instead of the living out stuff of your life, like your physical reality, your memories, all the past stuff, and like really free ourselves and unhinge ourselves from what we think our current reality is, what we think is happening. Like all of that stuff is such a distraction from your end goal that you want to achieve. But as we manifest, we'll find ourselves in those states where stuff is hanging around from the past and we're persisting forward, right? And some days can be really like heavy and like gross and like we feel like blah, like just some days are shitty because we're like purging that stuff out. The old energy is coming out to be released. So once we purge it out, you can wake up the next day and feel good. So the thing to remember is that imagination is the only reality. Consciousness is the only reality. Okay? Everything else is changing all the time. Everything else is moving form to form. Thoughts are constantly changing. Physical reality is constantly changing. Like, what is real is what is unchanging. That is what the definition of real means. This is something I figured out when I had an experience. My spiritual awakening happened in an Ashtanga yoga class. And in the middle of this Ashtanga yoga class, the physical world disappeared. And there was nothing. There was no physical reality. There was no body. This body was not there. Like, there was no mind, no thoughts. It was just infinite black space. Just space. And there was nothing there. There was no form. And the first thing, right, that came into my separate self-awareness was a thought, right? So from that place of infinite vast space, that is still, like, there was still the space there, right? Like, that's all that there was, but there was no body, there was no world, and there was no thought. Then, after I had this glimpse, then the thoughts came back, right? And there was a fear because I didn't want to die, right? I didn't want to have a full-on ego death. I didn't want to go there. I wanted to stay in the relative world because I still want to play here, right? Leela, life is a play. This is a play because we know we come from just space. We know we come from that emptiness of form. And so that's why we enjoy being in form and in separate forms, but truly it's the one appearing in all these different forms. Okay, so after that experience in an Ashtanga yoga class, and Ashtanga yoga is actually a really great practice. It really silences the mind in my experience. Like, even when I do it today, I notice it really brings me back to that place where there's no thought and there's no world. So that is yoga, right? Union with the one, the all that there is. So after this experience, right, the thought was like the first thing that I was aware of as me. And that's, mind over matter. That's why they say mind over matter. And I always knew that because I was a swimmer and I saw how powerful it was, how what I thought about determined my results as a swimmer. And in a race, when everything is on the line and you have to you're in a competition, like your thoughts in those moments really matter. And if you're not optimizing that power of the mind while you're racing, you're not thriving and optimizing your results. So mind over matter is real because first we are that non-physical infinite being, and then we have a thought, and then we have this form. So the real shift with manifestation that you need to have if you actually want to be good at manifesting is you have to stop identifying with your mind, and you have to stop identifying with your human form. You have to stop identifying with your separate self as your only identity, you know? You are not just this separate human body, mind, self. You're not just the body, mind. So for manifesting to really be powerful for you and for you to really have faith in it and see that it works all the time, you have to stop identifying as a limited human and realize what your true nature is. Your true nature is non-physical, vast, infinite space, spirit, consciousness, awareness, whatever you want to call it, source, energy. It's empty of form, and Buddhism talks a lot about emptiness, right? So the way to really be good at manifestation is to stop being so identified and clinging to your separate sense of self. It's just an appearance. I can't believe I just said that. That's something Tony Parsons says, who's a non-duality teacher. But he wouldn't call himself a teacher. He just says it's what's happening. So, yeah, our separate self is an appearance within nothingness, right? And so I like to call it spirit because that makes me feel, like spirit backs all the form. It makes me feel like, we truly can create anything out of spirit because the Holy Spirit can animate forms. That's what the life force energy within us, right? Our breath, what makes us alive. So, yeah, detaching yourself from all that you've built up conceptually about who you think you are, and then being attached to those identities, and then feeling separate from other people. Yes, we are individual, and yes, we are also unique, but we still are one at the root level of spirit, of emptiness, where all form is arising out of. So that is why love is the answer. That is why love is the answer, because what is love? If we're all one, and that is what yoga means, right? Union, oneness. If we're all one, and all is love, I don't know, why is oneness love? So if you think about that, love is such a powerful vibration to manifest with, because love is a oneness, and oneness is a very powerful place to manifest from, because you're manifesting from your pure consciousness, which is where everything comes from anyways, right? That's why manifestation works, because if you change your thoughts, you change your emotional experience, you change your state of consciousness, you get a different reality, you get a different experience, you get all kinds of different things happening. People respond to you differently. All kinds of things happen when you shift, right? So you're shifting and then you're manifesting the corresponding realities. So
it's time for your practice. This routine will end in 1 hour.
Thanks, Alexa. It's time for my meditation, guys. I gotta go. But I just want to say a few more things. This is basically meditation, talking about the truth of reality. What was I saying? Why manifesting works is because you're manifesting from yourself. Everything is coming from you. Because who you are is the source. Who you are is pure consciousness. So who you are is watching the mind. It's watching the thoughts all the time, 24/7, right? You're watching your thoughts. You're watching your emotional afflictions. You're watching the good feelings. You're watching the bad feelings. You're watching the outer world. You're watching everything from in here. And when you change the combinations of your thoughts and your feelings, right? Really just, it's mostly your thoughts, because like my experience in Ashtanga showed me, that one thought from space, infinite vast nothingness, that one thought created a reality. Because when it happened, I said no. Like I wanted to come back to my personal reality, and I said no, I am not. No, this is not real. I turned my back on my true nature, and I was like, no. I am Jenny. I am in a yoga class. That's my friend over there. That's the teacher. This is the room. I am in Gainesville, Florida. Sanctuary Yoga. That was the name of the yoga studio. By the way, I had just quit swimming my junior year of college, and I started going to yoga like twice a day, every day. And so that was when this experience happened. So my whole life I was just a swimmer and going to school, obviously, but my focus in life was swimming. So swimming, staring at the black line at the bottom of the pool, then going to yoga and having this kind of makes sense, right? My whole life I was just swim, eat, sleep, school, swim, eat, sleep, school. That was my life. Okay. So then I go to yoga and I have this spiritual awakening experience, and then I start, reading all these non-duality books. I attract all these non-dual teachers. But after that satori, I think you would call it, a satori, where you see the vast infinite being that you are, it's not form, it's empty of form. When you have that seeing, then I wanted to reorient myself back into the physical reality, into the world of separation, into the world of relativity, because that was too much. That was too scary for me. And so the thoughts were the first thing that came back, right? Thinking. So that's why thoughts create reality. Thought is the first point, I think it is, the first point of consciousness from pure consciousness. The first form is a thought. From absolute emptiness, absolute nothingness, the first form is a thought form, I think. I don't know for sure, but that's what that's what my felt experience was. And we have to value and really make an authority of our felt experiences, because our experience is, it's coming out of source. It's very important. Okay, so your felt experience in the moment is everything. to manifest, to be good at manifesting. You're already good at manifesting, but like to be even better, you have to stop identifying as a person all the time. Like you can sometimes, of course, obviously. But like that's why we're here, to be a person, have fun, be human, live life, go through the good, go through the challenges, the contrast, and then come out on the other side, manifest all of our desires. That's why we're here, right? Okay, so you stop clinging to your separate sense of self. And you spend time in that emptiness, in that, if you meditate or Ashtanga yoga, highly recommend it. All kinds of yoga is really great. Kundalini, Ashtanga, just regular vinyasa, anything that gets you going inward, right? Yoga gets you, first you connect with the body. That's the first point of going inward. Then you connect with your energetic body, your thoughts, your emotional body, right? The physical practice helps you go into those energetic realities, because a lot of people have their focus, their attention is on the outer world. And if you don't go to the source, you don't spend time living from your source, you can still manifest and all that, but like, I don't know. It just, not the way I want to live, that's for sure. I'm like quite opposite of that. I'm very much inner world to outer world. Like, let me take care of my inner world first and foremost, because that's what I think is really important. And the world, media, everything outside of you is gonna try to hypnotize you to believe that the outer world is more important. But actually you're always manifesting from your inner world out, inner world out. Okay, so to be better at manifesting, you have to stop thinking that you are a certain way, thinking that your reality is a certain way, right? Like if you keep telling those stories, you keep feeling those things are what's happening and what's real, right? Like you're doing that from pure source right now. You're doing that from pure consciousness right now. You're saying this is how things are. UPS truck. This is how things are, if you could hear that noise. This is how things are. You're saying this is how things are. That's you manifesting that even more. And I know sometimes we can't help it. Sometimes we're just bad day, we're stuck, we're not in alignment, whatever. We're purging, whatever it may be. It's okay. When you're not there, it's not a problem. Make it irrelevant, not a big deal. It's helping you, affirming, this is going to work in my favor, even though I can't see how this is going to work in my favor. It's still going to work in my favor. And even this like negative energy is like cleansing from me. You can say things like that to yourself, because saying things like that is positive thought to help your situation. So you are affirming a current reality all the time, like underneath your normal level of awareness, right? Like your self-awareness has like so many layers, and like the deeper one is this like reality that feels so real. It's like you're in a fishbowl, it feels so real you don't even realize you're in it. But yeah, it's surrounding you. So that layer is really important to go to yoga and meditate and reach those layers. Even Vipassana retreats are really good for reaching those layers, although very intense. I don't know if I would do that. But like Vipassana meditation, like maybe just for 30 minutes a day or an hour a day. I used to go to a Vipassana class and we'd sit for an hour and then we'd have a Dharma talk for an hour. Like doing that once a week is really good. If you can find a Vipassana center in your town. So yeah, like these are the things that I believe really helped me manifest better and really like have